Hello, it's another windy day here at Byther Farm, but I want to show you what happened in last month's storms. This is our old plum tree. The first storm, Kira, sent it toppling a bit, and then when Storm Dennis came through, which was absolutely fierce, and we had a mini tornado, and our weather app actually said tornado. Went through the yard. I don't think it got this far down the garden. I think it was quite a small one anyway. It has torn it out of the ground pretty much completely. This is an old post. I think this is just an old post. It could be part of the tree. This was already dead when we got here. And this lovely old plum tree that has produced so many fruit on it it's ripped out of the ground, all bar one small part of root. And I think we have to accept that it has probably come to the end of its life. It's hollow in places, it has woodworm, it's had squirrels living in it, and each year it just kept going, holding plums way above our head. We've had to wait till they drop to the floor and then rush out and try and pick them up before the ducks get to them each day, because the ducks just ate masses of plums. Yeah, hey, some of the plums are ready. Now this had fallen off the tree, and so I'm going to have a look to see if there are more that need to be picked up, because last year the ducks ate all the plums, and here they come en masse. Probably looking for plums. Is that what you're looking for? Was it a plum that you were looking for? Not quite ready yet? Okay. To give you an idea of how high up they are all the way up in that tree. But I'm not going to cut this plum tree down immediately, because there are still some signs of life in it, so I'm going to wait and see if indeed it does produce a crop this year, and then I think it was time that it was. I'm so sad about this old tree going. It's probably somewhere between 50 and 60 years old. It's just, or maybe even older, it's just a beautiful tree. But it is horizontal, and it's fallen over, so it's landed on this damson over here, so that's what stopped it from falling right onto the ground, which means the ducks can still get underneath it, and we can still get underneath it to take it apart when we need to, but for the next few months I'm going to leave it and try and make sure. So for the next few months I'm going to leave it and let the bits that are growing see if they will grow or not. And then if it gets as far as fruiting, after that we will take this out. But I don't want to be without any of these lovely plums, and very kindly our friends over at Direct Plants have sent me a new plum tree to plant in a different spot in the garden. So we have this lovely Victoria plum tree. It's going to go into the ground right away. We'll stake it to protect it from all the winds yet to come this spring. I'm really excited. I'm really pleased to be able to get this in the ground and get it growing again. And then I guess in 20 years time, it may well be as productive as that old tree is. and I've decided to put it here on this mound in the market garden. I can't grow anything much other than herbs in this area, and I will put some herbs in here too, but I can put the plum in, I can put the steak in. This is one of the wetter parts of our land because the water flows across it in this direction. By having it up here, it's not immediately sitting in very damp soil, but as its roots go down, it will have access to a lot of that water that travels across the land. So I think this is a good place for it. Now, because it's raised up, it's going to be a little more exposed. There's not much opposite there, so I need to make sure it has a really good stake and is attached to that, and over the next year or two, as its roots really fix itself into the ground, that should be fine. So now I just need to remember where I've put some sort of digging implement. So I found this very old fork that belonged to my late father-in-law. I think you can see how poor the soil is here, although it has got worms in it, but it's actually a heavy clay with a whole load of sand in it, because the top tiny bit is clay, and then below that is sand and pebbles from several hundred years ago, when there was a tsunami that washed across this area and left behind it lots and lots of sand, pebbles from the beach, from the river, which is not very far away. It's the River Severn, Severn, which is a tidal river. I don't know how much difference that makes to our microclimate here. Oh, worm, you go back in, lovely. There you go. And you. Right, let's go and find the tree. So I've got my tree, and I've also got some mycorrhizal fungi to put onto the roots as I plant it. And this will help the tree form good root system and establish itself more quickly. The roots have been really well wrapped because the last thing you want is for the roots to dry out in transit. So there we go, it's got a nice root system there. Now there is a graft here where this is the root stock that the tree is growing on, and this is the fruiting part of the tree, and it's grafted here. And you don't want to get this under the ground, it wants to be above the soil level, which it is. So the first thing I'm going to do is decide which way round I want the tree facing. I think like that. Then I'm going to pop some of the mycorrhizal fungi actually onto the roots, and it needs to be touching the roots, not just in the ground. Now, if this tree had looked dry at all, and this one doesn't, I would have soaked it in water for a while first. They look absolutely fine, so I'm not going to worry about soaking them. If the tree had sat for any longer, then I would have given them a good soak. I'm making sure that graft is well above the soil level and backfilling. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lean the tree in that direction because now it's leaning into the wind. So as the strong winds on our site hit it, it will go upright rather than Oh, let me just get this root into the ground here. Make sure it's well under the soil. There we go. Yes, rather than starting upright and being pushed in this direction, this way, it stands a good chance of ending up upright. I've left the bamboo cane on it for now. I'm going to put a tree stake in, and I'm going to put it in so the open end of it is pointing towards the wind. So as the wind pushes it, it's pushing it into the ground, not ripping it out. I've got a really soft tree tie which I'm going to put between the tree and the stake to make sure that they don't rub. So that's looking pretty good. The tree won't rub on the stake here. I'm going to fix the tie to the stake first, like that. Make sure that's nice and tight so that it won't slip down. Might even need to tighten up a tiny bit on the stake. So have one more look there. Then I can take it and around the tree, and I'm doing it in a sort of figure of 8, so it is slightly held away from the stake again. I'm happy with that now. And then bring that back up and fix it. And so the last thing I need to do for this tree to give it a really good start is to give it a really good water and to come back in a couple of days if it hasn't rained and make sure I've watered it again. And I will make sure that this tree doesn't dry out over the coming months, or not dry out completely. Give those roots a really good chance to get going underground. Finally, I've got the tree tie on. So I'm also going to give it a little bit of compost. There will be compost put on all over this mound. This is the homemade compost. That will go on all over here over the coming weeks and months. But for now, it may look wobbly. I will heel it in. So it may look like it's at a jaunty ankle, but that is to protect it from the winds that come across. So we'll check back in a few months' time when no doubt the wind will have straightened the tree to vertical. For now, I'll go and get it some water. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's a good one. And I also hope you'll join me again next time.